Recently, I had a conversation with one of my rising entrepreneur members, and it was about shoulding herself. You see, she recently obtained some information that another person would potentially be looking for somebody like her in her field and her services. It was kind of one of those, hey, you didn't hear it from me, but so and so is looking to do this. And this is exactly what my member is able to help them with. So immediately she started thinking of different approaches she could have to start the conversation. However, as she began to think of all of these different ways to start the conversation, she started to feel inside of her body that ick factor. Like, this is not us. This is not what we are here to do. I don't feel good about this type of approach. But as these emotions started to come up in her body, her brain started to take over and say, but this is what you should be doing. You have to put yourself out there. You should go start the conversation. Here are different ways that we could start the conversation, different scenarios that she was dreaming up of how it could all play out. But at the end of the day, she told me that she knew that this was against her energy. It was against her nature, even. And she was feeling really lost and unsure of what to do because of all this pressure. And here's what I told her. She already knows exactly what to do. Her body is telling her that, hey, this is not the direction to go. This is not how we can make this happen. This is turning into a chasing and pushing type of energy, pushing to make something happen. At the end of the day, it was her mind that was taking over out of fear that, hey, if you don't do something, you could totally miss out on this opportunity. But let's dissect that here for a second. What would it look like for her to go ahead and push, make something happen that was not really meant for her, and then deal with whatever comes out of that? What are the consequences? One, I'm willing to bet she wouldn't feel too great about herself because she was already going against something that she intuitively knew was not right for her. And two, how much energy is she going to have to drain to continue pushing to make this event actually happen? So, what I encouraged her to do was to get out of her head and to come back into her body, to trust the process, to trust that if this opportunity was really meant for her, then everything would unfold for it to work out in her favor and the potential client's favor as well. Now, this is so much easier said than done. But at the end of the day, I want you to ask yourself, what decisions are you making and what actions are you taking based on those decisions that are coming from the pressure of you should be doing this, that your brain or maybe an external factor like a colleague or your boss or your partner or even a dear friend is putting on you? When was the last time that your body was screaming, no, don't do it this way, but your mind was screaming even louder and you ended up following your brain's guidance? So here's the shift that I'm going to ask of you this week. Pay attention to what's going on inside of your body when you are faced or brought forth an opportunity that you feel like you shouldn't be missing out on and that you should be taking action on. What exactly are you feeling in your body? So here's the shift for this week, and that is to get out of your head and back into your body. Because, friends, your body is where your intuition lives. And your intuition is never here to steer you wrong. It's always got your best interest at heart. Even if it doesn't make logical sense, even if it's going against everything that I've been taught to do in my business or in my life. I feel like I should be going this direction. If you feel your thoughts taking over whatever it is that your body is feeling, I'm going to ask you to shift out of your head and back into your body, and to trust that whatever your body is telling you to do or not to do, that you go with it and just see what happens. Hi, I'm Kimberly Romano, Indian wedding photographer turned brand photographer and human design reader. Thank you for tuning into Shifted, the podcast that is here to spark a shift in you that creates big change in your energy, perspective, and direction. And if this episode sparked a shift in you, then subscribe and leave a review sharing what your shift was. Not only will this help others discover this podcast, but your shift can inspire them to have a shift of their own. Please remember, the content you hear in this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as legal, health, or financial advice. For professional guidance, I encourage you to seek out a trusted expert near you. Thank you again for tuning into Shifted. Until next time, keep leaning into the shift.